You'll be surprised to hear that despite of the fact that cloud is here for the last various years, still 60 to 70 and even more percentage of workloads are still on premises and not in the cloud. If you talk about Australia, I get to talk a lot of companies and their professionals out in the field who are still working on the on-prem, and many of them are looking to transition to cloud from traditional IT. When it comes to cloud IT, many are at loss as what they need to know and learn in order to transition from traditional IT or on-premises to cloud. In this video, let me give you a few of the pointers which I have done from experience of my own and also from others as what you could do to get up to speed to the cloud. First thing you need to learn is any public cloud, whether it is AWS, Azure, or GCP. Once you have selected your cloud of choice, or if your company is using any, then just buckle down and learn these things. Second thing you need to learn is infrastructure as code. So unlike traditional IT where you would have to provision the physical servers or even virtual machines, you in the cloud, the best way to provision resources is through code. There are two prime technologies when it comes to AWS. One is CloudFormation and the other one is Terraform. Terraform is more popular because it is cross cloud. If you know Terraform, you can use it in any cloud provider. Then you need to know container orchestration. What it means is that you need to know Kubernetes. Containers are simply a way of packaging the applications. So container is sort of an envelope in which you put the application code and its dependencies. And then it gives you portability to move it from one container platform to another. And when you have many containers and they work together, then you call it container orchestration. The best tool for container orchestration is Kubernetes. So you need to run Kubernetes too. Then you need to be aware of serverless. Serverless simply means that you don't have to worry about the underlying infrastructure. You don't even have to provision it or manage it or patch it or upgrade it. You just use that service and that's about it. One of the example of serverless is in AWS is called as Lambda. Lambda is simply a location where you write your code and run it. You don't have to provision any server. You don't have to install anything. You just have to put your code in and it runs for you. That is called as serverless. There are heaps of other serverless offerings. There are some databases, there are some API management software, a lot of things which are serverless. So you need to know what serverless is and how it works. And most of serverless is event driven. So you also need to understand what exactly is event driven. Then you need to be aware of cloud networking. For example, when it comes to AWS, you have this concept of a virtual private networking, subnets, and then how do you divide those subnets? What are the CIDR ranges, hub and spoke architecture? What are different types of gateways available in cloud, and so on and so forth. You need to be aware of these concepts. Then you need to know about storage, how you can store your data and what sort of storage is available in the cloud. For example, if it is a block level storage, then you might need to use EBS or EFS in AWS, or if it is a object level storage, you might go with S3. If you want some sort of file storage like NFS enabled, then there are various storage gateways available, different types of them. And then even those topics are full blown subjects in their own. So you need to be aware of what sort of storage you need and why. Then cloud security, very important concept. You need to be aware that what exactly cloud security is, what is the responsibility of the cloud provider, what is your responsibility, what sort of cloud security services are there, both in terms of infrastructure and application security. So you need to be aware of these concepts. Then you need to know about databases as what sort of database offerings are available. If you even just look at AWS, you will find that there are serverless NoSQL database offerings are there like DynamoDB. You have document-based services. Even if you have used any enterprise services on the on-premises. They are also available as managed service, like you have MongoDB service available, you have Cassandra available, some time series, Neptune, Graph, SQL, and RDS. In just I'm talking about AWS here. And similarly on GCP, you have BigQuery, and the list goes on and on. So you need to be aware of as which database to use when and why. Then you need to be aware of migration. So very, very roughly, generally speaking, there are two types of migration you could do. You could I mean, there are a lot of things there, but just on the very high level, you could migrate virtual machines by using block level copy. There are a lot of tools there like AWS MGN, which was previously Cloud Endure, which does the block by block copy very easy. And then other ways, for example, if you want to migrate databases, then there's a whole new ball game as would you just migrate the whole VM hosting the database, or would you just take the dump of database and move it, or would you do replication? There are a lot of options available. Then observability, how would you monitor it? For example, in AWS, you have its own monitoring software called as CloudWatch. Would you be using it, or would you use any third-party tooling like Datadog or any New Relic, or there are hundreds of them. Then you need to know at least one scripting language like PowerShell, Python, or even shell scripting, JavaScript, any one of them is fine enough. Then you need to know basic OS concept in Linux and Windows. What exactly, how would you deal with it? Because as a cloud engineer or a cloud professional, you're expected to know these things. DevOps, a huge field, but at least you need to know what is CI/CD, what it involves, all the DevOps principle, agile methodology, and any one modern CI/CD tooling would be good. So like GitLab or Circle CI or even GitHub, Bitbucket pipeline, any one of them would do because most of them are similar. Once that's done, don't forget AI. AI is the future. Everything will be changed. I have lots and lots of videos around it. So you need to know what is AI, what is generative AI, what is large language model, how it is going to transform everything very soon, and you need to be at the forefront of it. And when we talk about AI, we are also talking about bit of a machine learning. These are all these models, and especially w- what exactly your cloud provider is providing in terms of this AI. So that's pretty much it. If you have any feedback or if you need any further information, please do put it in the comment section and I will be happy to help out. Thank you very much.